Hello, hope you're having a wonderful day or had a good day. Thank you for checking this out. This is the video companion to the doc. If you just like to read the doc, that's fine. It's the same thing. So basically, I want to give you an overview of the doc, a walkthrough. As you know, everything is on the Google site. Scroll down, MAP, MAP, MAP. The last one, because we're finished. And now we want to look at the data, the results. MAP data engagement instructions. So I'm going to click on it. And there's some FAQ responses, just in case you're curious. Yeah, the results will go out for grades 7 to 9 the week after break. And then generally speaking, about 2 weeks after the last assessment. So for elementary school in grade 6, if and when it happens, yeah, it'll be about 2 weeks. But here's some FAQ responses. Okay, our agenda: review the purpose, share resources. Number 2, how to read scores. Number 3, becoming data literate. That's an interesting word. Number 4, authentic follow through. I'm going to put, that's an interesting word too. And we'll talk about that. Okay, review purpose and share resources. So here's our purpose statement overview. I'm going to click on it. Always start with purpose. Why are we doing this? Okay, MAP is an external pre-assessment for learning, an external pre-assessment for learning. So let's deconstruct that. External, yeah, it's from an outside provider. Yes, it has US norms. We do this for an element of assurance. We want to make sure that we're doing okay. We're not inflating our results. Yes, we want to do this. But that kind of comparison is for other offices. I think this is going to explain at a student level, at a parent level, at a teacher level. We're all about growth and information. We're not about comparison. But to be fair, yes, it is used to a degree in other offices. Pre. Of course, pre means before. So we have one in the fall, and then we have one in the spring. So this clearly focuses our attention on that this is all about growth. It's our goal. We want our students to grow. That's why we're here, and that's why we want to celebrate in the spring. So why are we doing this? We're doing this for learning, so we can celebrate that growth. Okay, assessment. Well, the definition has the word assessment. So what does assessment mean? In this conversation, we could define assessment as distilled down in its bare essence as a communication. It's a communication of what happened that moment, that day. It is to inform us. It's not for making judgments. It's not a judgment in itself of a student. It's simply a communication of what happened. And I think it's important, parents. I think it's important, admin. I think it's important everyone understands that definition. And then at the end here, we say for learning. To make it for learning instead of learning, we need to use it to improve student learning. We need to have those conversations. And what we do with it should be actionable. Now, what does the word actionable mean? It means that it can happen. Not some wishy-washy idea or overly broad idea. We look at a bunch of spreadsheets and then nothing happens. Rather, we identify something, at least something that we can do, that we can take action on. And then it's more for learning. Genuinely, authentically. That's why we do MAP, because we want to take those steps and we want to see the kids grow and we want to celebrate it. Okay, data engagement, data literacy purpose statement. So as I go through the agenda and explain further, you might want to know, well, why are we looking at it this way? And it comes down to this purpose statement. The process matters. How we engage data and each other matters. sincere, like I'm being honest, sincere single engagements between students and teachers, between teachers. That's better than impersonal sweeps. Oh, M was right. They matter to the teacher, they matter to the student, they matter to the parent. An individual thinking about student learning with learning data can be powerful. For us, for today, to be data literate means I can use actionable data, make a plan, and take action that matters. I'm going to make a plan for at least something. I'm going to do my best. It's going to be for real. And in that way, I'm data literate. Sincere, single engagements are better than broad impersonal sweeps. So let that be your moral to the story for the video or for today. Okay, so go back to the agenda. There is more information about MAP. You're welcome to check out more. You don't have to. You can go to their website and read for hours. There's more here and there's more here. Your results come in RIT scores. What are RIT scores? R stands for Roche, okay? And it's basically a mathematical formula by the author, the mathematician named Roche, that calculates the student's normal tendency on a scale. Basically, it gives them one answer, one question, another question, harder if they got one right, easier if they got one wrong, and then it looks for the plateau. That plateau is the normal tendency. That is the RIT. If you really want to get into the math of it, math teachers, you can click here. Here's a really important note. When you're looking at RIT scores, the standard error of measurement is 5.5 points. So if you have a parent or a student or yourself and you're squabbling over or worried about 2 points, standard error of measurement is 5.5. So sometimes we gotta chill out about that, okay? Here is the growth calculator. So how do they calculate from fall to spring? They look at the student's age, they look at the student's grade level, they look at the date of the fall and the date of the spring, and then they calculate what is the normal result for students who've done this in the USA. And here's a formulated spreadsheet. You can even play with it and see how growth is calculated. Okay. More related to the purpose statement, here are additional readings, and these are my favorites. You're welcome to read them. If we had more time, we'd check them out. You know, this one's on effective use of data. And I'd add the word efficient use of data there. This one's on processing and digesting data into actionable plans. This one's on focusing on data solutions, like let's make a good solution, not make more problems. On being data informed, not data driven, what's the difference? On authentic engagement, and how that includes the importance of having a clear purpose and using your professional judgment. On what growth data is and why it's important to focus on growth. I think, again, with the purpose statement and again with reading these, you're welcome to. The moral to the story is that it's better to shorten the to-do list. It's better to be realistic with our time. We're busy people. And it's better to genuinely engage a couple targeted needs than be overly broad with less follow through and thus less genuine impact. Think of it like small combat units going in instead of a giant army, or a small targeted strike instead of a giant army. Think of it as triage, making those decisions instead of broad sweeps of everyone. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, how to read scores. This is the report that will go to the parents. It's called the Student Progress Report. The student name's at the top, and then it's math, reading. If you did Lang, the Lang's at the bottom, and you'll see these bars. So SP Spring 2014, FA Fall 2014, Spring 2015. So here's Fall 2015. So yours is gonna say, or your students will say Fall 21. And then over here, it's gonna say Spring 22. So what do these bars mean? The blue is the student. The orange is AISJ, it'll look like that. And the yellow is the USA. This ... one is the goal for in the spring. That should be the same as the goal over here, but that counts out about how many points it should be. Okay, this is interesting because this talks about the standard error range. So let's look at this. 243 to 249. That's a big range. And that's an important conversation and an important understanding to just maturely and intelligently approaching this information. Okay. Other things at the bottom of each math, reading, and if you had Lang, it'd be another page. At the bottom here, they break it down into categories. And they'll say, like, for reading, this is the range you're in. Vocabulary, this is the range you're in. Okay? They'll give a Lexile. If you're an ELA teacher and you want me to show you how to find the Lexile, I can do that too. And then languages below. And then a second page, there's a quick reference guide for the parents. Going back to this, important category information to targeted needs. If a parent does ask to speak with you about MAP and you want help, let me know. I can give you script ideas, conversation, topic ideas for those conversations. Basically, the steps I'm going to take you through should match these. Okay? So that's an important part of it. Okay, another thing that I think is important. At the parent coffee, I will share with them here other norms and here a PDF for further comparison. It's not attached to the official NWA information, but you're welcome to look at it too. So you click here, and here are other norms. You got USA, KSA, and NISA. Of course, KSA, NISA, USA, those are just schools that use MAP. KSA actually is pretty common at the international schools with the American curriculum. Almost all of them use it. NISA, as you know, this is like our IRCOS. This is our Conference of International Schools in Near and South Asia. And those are their average results. Interesting information. Reading Lang. Okay, click here. I think this is a real important PDF, and I think it's better than looking at those other ones, which are averages or norms. Averages and norms are kind of frustrating because you know how the math works. If you have one outlier who scored 0, it completely changes the average. So I think this is better to point out parents or families for comparison, or yourself when you want to understand a student's score. So let's say a grade 7 student has a 222 right here. So that means they are in the 69th percentile. Oh no, my grade 7 student has a 187. They're in the bottom 5th percentile. But wait, check it out. Where's 187 in grade 6? It's over here. It's not at the top of grade 6. Check it out. These ranges per grade level overlap massively. Not just a little bit, but massively. So the whole conversation thread of, oh, they're at a 5th grade level. Why are they so far behind? They should be at a 6th grade level. They actually don't apply for the MAP results because, again, the ranges overlap massively. If you want to talk percentiles per grade level, okay. And this is a really important one. Sometimes conversely in the elementary school, it might be like, oh, my child's performing at a grade 6 level, can they move up? That's where you break this out and you have the conversation, well, for grade 5, they're in the, 95th percentile, but again, the ranges overlap massively. Cool PDF. Okay, what about you? How to read your reports, I shared with you. Okay, both the class report, so that would be like for grade 7 English, block D, and the grade level report, which would be like grade 7 reading for all grade 7 students, are by assessment. There's one for math, one for reading, and one for lang. They're both the exact same format. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give, or already have done by the time you watch this, the class reports are given to teachers. I will ask department heads or team leaders to also meet with me at another time to go over the grade level report data. Now there's an asterisk here because if you're the grade 9 teacher, math teacher, do I need to talk with your department head or there's just one of you, so let's just talk about it together ourselves? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, but I think middle school, you guys do have department leads, so I can have those conversations with them. They'll ultimately ask all of you eventually anyways, so that's okay. Okay, let's check this out. How does this work? Basically, it's pretty intuitive. It breaks down the results into categories. The different colors mean different percentile of results. What we'll mostly be focusing on in our department conversations will be anything in the 40th percentile, at least 3 categories. If you only have 3 categories, then those 3. If you have more than 3 categories, then the lowest 3. But again, we're going to be focusing our conversations on the 40th percentile. So this is kind of a mid-macro view. Not a micro view, but a mid-macro view. Or can I say that, mid-macro, or should I say a little bit more than micro? I will ask in these conversations first for a pacing check. Okay, when is this covered? We always get for grade 7 and 8 math results, geometry and stats are low because it's covered later in the spring. But we need to check that and be sure, because what if it's something that was covered already? What happened? So we'll jot down when it's covered in the curriculum. Engagement check. This is where your department head or you, or that your department head will talk to you, will ask you, what's your plan for that result? And it might be when I cover it in the spring, we will take extra care to ... But if it happened already, you might have to develop a plan saying, I can remediate that over the winter break with extra assignments by doing this. Okay, your department head will talk to you about that. If you are the department head, I'll ask for another meeting for that. And then step 3, result check. And basically that means when we get the spring results, we'll come back and fill in this and reflect on how it went. So that's about that report. Now I want to scroll down here because this is the important stuff. And this is something everybody's going to do. And this is what is actually linked to our purpose statements about informing us for growth. This is linked to our purpose statement about data engagement, that we want something to be authentic or sincere rather than a broad sweep. Okay. You can click here to read the engagement statement again if you need. Here's some more resources. So step 1, login, as you know. Step 2, you go to here, and on the left-hand bar, this is my view. Your view has less options there, so easier. You click on View Reports, MAP Growth Reports. View Reports, MAP Growth Reports. It opens up, and it has all these visual examples. You can scroll up and down, different kinds of reports. Please click on this one. It's called Class Breakdown by RIT. Click on it. It'll open up, and it'll give you widgets, and you have to pick the term. Pick Fall 21-22, grades 7 to 9. Grades 2 to 6, pick Winter 21-22. Pick your school, AISJ, not AISJ admissions. Find your name, find the class you want to look at. Okay, if you're a homeroom teacher in elementary school, it's just your homeroom. But if you're a middle school, high school teacher, you have to do each section. And it's cool because it shows you just that class. Okay, click on View Online Report. Excuse me. You need that online report because then you can still click on more stuff and go deeper. Okay. If you click on that, it's going to open up to a page that looks like this. If you're a homeroom teacher in elementary school, it'll be math, reading, lang. Okay. If you're the reading teacher, then it might be reading and lang. If you're the math teacher, it's just one thing. But if you have to pick a subject, click on the subject. Once you click on that, it opens up to a screen like this. And this is where all the action is. This is the best sheet you're going to find in all of MAP. So here are your categories: algebraic, thinking, geometry, real and complex number systems, statistics, and prob. So it's broken down into the categories for the assessment. Again, these are the arrow version of the assessments. We pick which version we want. So these categories match the standards and their categories. Now here will be all of your students for that class. And you might see, oh, they're way down here. Yeah, I guess that was going to happen. Oh, they're way up here. That's cool. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, they're down here. Oh, what happened? I wasn't expecting that. And a bunch in the middle. Good job. Congratulations. Now, going back to our engagement strategy. Instead of doing everything for everybody, and then nothing happens, and making a bunch of spreadsheets and then nothing happens. Think about this. You are busy. You have a limited amount of time. If you were performing, let's say, triage, which is a cell, which is a small group that you think, if you're going to put your extra time and effort anywhere, you can help, you can impact. You want to save for the triage model. So it might actually not be the bottom one, because maybe the bottom one is in LS, and yeah, you want to collaborate more with your LS teacher on it, but maybe there's other issues there that are not about extra instruction and helping. Okay, so let's say, and here again, it's like the cell that can have the most impact. So a cell that just has one kid, yeah, it'll impact that one kid, but you could pick a cell that has 5 kids and with one action help 5 kids. So in this example, if I were doing it, I'd probably pick this one or something here because it has the most kids, students, scholars, and it has the most impact. I highlighted here choice because this is where your professional judgment comes in. And this is where all the principles come into play, that you are making a choice for where to take action. Okay, once you make your choice, you can click on any student's name in the cell. It doesn't matter which one, it all comes up the same. Or you can click on the number range at the top. After you do that, it will open up to something like this. Let's say you click on the student's name, the student name will be here. Here's the score range. If you scroll up, that's one step down. If you scroll down, that's one step up because it's low to high. And this gives you the details of what that score actually means, which is the big FAQ. What does that score actually means? This is where you find that answer. Okay. Oh, Bobby. Bobby needs to work on relationships of operations, specifically understanding division as equal sharing. That's how you target a need on this page. If you close it all up and you just want to scroll around, you can navigate the continuum. It looks like this. But again, it should match the arrow standards. Now, think about those students that you identified. What will you help them with? What will your action step be? Fill in the worksheet below to document your plan. And remember, 2 meetings, so you should have this finished for the next meeting. In the next meeting, you'll just show it and explain it, and we can talk about it. Okay, so let's open up one and check it out. Please make a copy. Don't start writing on this one. Make a copy of your own. Okay, when you're done, share it to me with editing rights so I can put them all in a folder. You'll still own it, I won't mess with it. Type in your name, type in your grade, type in the section. So that's like D block, B block, which class it is. If you want to use the code, that's fine too. Okay, this says, what is our purpose for MAP? What can you say that you believe and is good for the learners to hear? You know, I think it's really important if we look at this. It says, remember, students are also learning to learn too. Discussing this metacognitively is useful too. If you want to have these conversations with the students so that you're talking about learning to learn, making it participatory, goal setting with them, it's an awesome thing to do. Type in your response. It's just your opinion, you know. I think this is a good process for the student because she will, you know, something like that. Name and explain one bit of information that was communicated to you in the results, okay? So this is where you go here, and I would just right-click, copy, or screenshot what you want to target, put it there. Okay, then you explain, is this affirming? Like, yeah, I knew this. Or is this something new? Now here, what will you do with this information? How will you plan differently? What is your planned action step? For whom? Okay, so this is where you write down your idea. What am I going to do to help them? Am I going to do a little breakout remedial session? Is it in the future? So I'm going to scaffold them when it comes, and here are my scaffolding plans. Am I going to give them extra assignments like on No Red Ink or IXL, something like that? I think No Red Ink, we have vocabulary this school year too. So No Red Ink or vocabulary. Maybe if you haven't gotten into that yet, and vocabulary is an issue, that's something to look into. Please, if you want to know how to do that, email me. I can show you more about it. It's been a long time since orientation. Please retype the following step. Just copy and paste if you need to. I want you to feel good about your action step. All right? You'll feel good. I'm data literate. Doing this, I am using the data to inform an instruction and an action plan idea here. And I promise I'm going to be authentic with this step. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try for these 5 kids. I rather you do it for real and do your best with those identified students than spend an hour looking at spreadsheets, walk out, and then never touch it again. Okay? Please type an X here if you're interested in talking more. I'm a data freak, I love this stuff. Yeah, we can talk about it. I could talk about it for hours. If you want to, you can, you don't have to. No, this is enough. That's fine. And then in the spring, we will break these out again and we'll reflect and you can write down how your plans went. I'm going to put all of these in a folder. Your principals and assistant principals can check it out. So if they want to talk to you about MAP, they should be able to access this. And I see, oh, this is your plan for these students. How is that going? That would be a cool conversation for your principals and assistant principals to have with you. Okay, of course, department heads, there's also this part, pacing check, engagement, plan check, and results. Your principals or assistant principals will have access to that. And that's the conversation they can have with you too. So basically, fill in this one. And if you're a department head, then we should talk separately about it, what to do. Okay, this is where the action is, this one, which is basically derived from this page. Okay, this is the video version of the same thing the doc says. Down here, there are some actions, step examples. I've never done a small group before. What does a breakout small group before look like? Here's a template. It's actually from literacy coaches. I could show you how to do it. We could even get Chrissy to come up and show you how to do it. She's smart about this stuff. But think about it. You always, here, beta. Okay, you wanted to know more stuff like where do I find the Lexiles for my students? Under reports, I don't think it's on the home screen anymore, but under reports, there's something called student profile. And you can find Lexiles there. Okay, just some additional notes here. Maybe that small group that you think you want to work on some more, or work with some more. Maybe that's a group in January when I say, anyone to do any winter tests, checkups, informal? Maybe that's the group you want me to do. We can set that up and you just tell me when and where and I'll set it up. I can even, if it's not too many kids, proctor it myself. So I can do that for you. And this is, again, a reminder. I said the SEM is around 3.5. Actually, depending on the results, it could be all the way up to 5.5 points. So consider that. This is something I refer to when we got to have a parent conversation. Again, parents, there'll be a coffee talk. And if you really get a parent asking you to talk more about it, take the appointment and then talk to me about it. And we can script out some ideas and get you well prepared. And when I do talk to parents about it, I say the exact same thing. I use the exact same purpose statements. I tell them this is what you're doing. I will tell them that don't expect your teachers to do data engagements, for example, the students at the top of the list. Okay, we're really going to focus on identifying some specific needs and work on that. So I'll tell the truth. And don't worry, I'm not telling them you're doing these magical things for 500 kids, okay? Okay, thank you. And again, email me anytime. I always say that, email me if you have a question. Please do. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.